Hello, welcome back on my channel. So today my video topic is going to be the Wuthering tier list changes and also placement for this version 3.1 phase 2 banner. Now this phase 2 banner is also coming with a new character which is a male character and his name is Luuk. Yes, I know that Wuthering male character is not even going to be equal each other because the last time they already released a male character which is a brand, and in this game the ratio between male and female character is very big that I can't even comprehend that how much of a big it is. Okay, if I just give you a tier layer of Luuk is a totally similar version of Camellya because Camellya also required of a high amount of basic attack because she scale basic attack same as well as goes for the Luuk, who is also scale the amount of basic attack that you are going to pour for him. The team they both required is also the same, where they consist of a Shanhua and also the Farina. Farina is overall going to give you a heal and also overall attack is going to be boosted by her, and the Shanhua is going to be give you especially the basic attack which is really required for those two characters. So after this tier list you are going to know that should you even pull for the Luuk and or not. If you are really one of those male injured, then this is your time to pull for him in no matter what. Okay, before talking anything further, I really want to give you a brief description about the Pride.gg. Well, yes, Pride.gg is one of those like a big website when it comes to covering these types of big gacha games for their ratings and also characters builds and other things too. But please don't take Pride.gg's opinion as a seriously because most of the times their take for the Wuthering is not even valid because Wuthering is one of those games where if you have a right build and also right skill, then you can even any types of endgame mode with a non-meta team. But they also cover the Hoyoverse games, and their take about the Hoyoverse games such as the HSR and also Zenless 0 is valid because the way the Hoyoverse is handling the power creep issue is actually pretty much diabolical to see that, where each and every new character is going to be the power creep that their previous version character, and the power creep is not even only happening by their numbers, it is also the shielding towards and also making their respective endgame for their recent character to sell their boost. I'm not going to like compare between the Wuthering and also other Hoyoverse games. I'm going to see that where the Luuk is placement for this current version and is he can even compare to our big juggernaut which already ended like 1 or 2 days ago, which is the Amath. By the time this video is released, I guess you already, which is the Amath. Amath is a sentinel character. You already know the sentinel is one of like Archon types of character. If you already play the Genshin Impact, you know that who is the Archon. Archon is one of those like a special godlike power who is powerful according to the lore and in also in practical uses compared to the other rest of the 5-star normal 5-star character. Please don't take this tier list as a seriously. All I wanted to do is start only having a chatting and also fun things and to see that the initial phase that should you even pull for him, and also give you an assessment that where he is placing for this tier list and is he even going to be a future proof or not. Besides, I already made a dedicated video for this Luuk for the pre-analysis that should you even pull for him or not in my channel. If you just go to my channel, there will be a recent video on the video list. Okay, without any further, let's see where they even place him and also which character goes up and which character goes down into this version 3.1, or is he totally bringing a new meta for this team or not. Okay, I'm not going to touch any of those like a criteria and also text changelog because if I just touch one of them, then I'm going to get spoiled, which is totally ruined the fun of this reacting this whole new tier list. Okay, let's see. For this endgame mode, there will be a Tower of Adversity and Whimpering West. I'm not going to go for that Whimpering West because in this tier list section, if you just going to move a cursor for a certain character, there will be a pop-up skin where they are going to show you the Tower of Adversity rating and also Whimpering West rating. If any character who is specialized both these two endgame modes, then that character is going to be the most powerful one for this version, not actually for this version, for a long time in a future too as well as. Okay, for the version tier 0, okay, they did not even put him tier 0. Okay, that's pretty much of interesting things, and also it is shown that there was so many characters in tier 0 for Tower of Adversity and they are not even here, especially the Agosta. Okay, that's very much interesting to see that. Did they change for the Amath rating for the Whimpering West? Well, she was tier 0, but she's just totally back down to tier 0.5. Okay. And for the Karthia, damn man, she just totally goes from the tier 1 to tier 1.5 for the Whimpering West. Well, Whimpering West is one of those like an endgame mode. You have to have a AoE attack specialized character where your character is not even going to limited for the single attack. That character should be specialist in a AoE attack. For the Karthia, I guess she was not even a very much of a good for the AoE attack. She was muchly good for the like a medium range types of medium area coverage types of attack. Okay, and for the Apex tier character, which is a tier 0 character, Chichiona is also the same tier from the previous phase 1 version changes, and also Lupa is totally coming back from the tier 1. Why am I saying this? Because before release of the Amath, the monofusion team, which is consist of a Changli, Brandt and also Lupa, that team was not even going to be a very much of a good team. But after the Amath release, people were testing so many other teams, and the monofusion team, which is consist of a Amath, Lupa and also the Morni, this team also just slaps very much hard. So that's why she's just goes up from the tier 1 to tier 0 and tier 0.5 for the Whimpering West. Okay, for our Linai, okay, she is also tier 0 and tier 0.5 for the Whimpering West. Well, she's not even doing a main actual role for the damage dealer. Well, she's a sub DPS, but most of the times what she does is going to give you a 73% if you have a signature weapon. If you don't have, she's going to give a 49% all types of damage buff. Remember that, all types of damage buff, and it is going to be a permanent buff, not like a 3-second or 10-second buff that you have to do again and again full rotation after resets. For the Morni, okay, she is a tier 0 and tier 0.5, but all I wanted to say is that for the Shorekeeper, well, that's no brainer, she's going to be tier 0 for both of these two endgame mode. But one thing is for sure, when it comes to the Morni, she's going to be the better version of the Shorekeeper. Why? Because the way she is going to give you a like interruption resistance, one-shot resistance, huge buff, and also not even that, 23% all types of damage buff, not even going to be required her signature weapon that's totally on her kit. She's very good. She's a healer, buffer, and also breaker, which is a tune break coming in version 3.0, going to deal extra damage. I'm not going to give you extra details for these things, but one thing is for sure, tune break is going to give you much faster clear for a sustainable amount of times. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the Shorekeeper. Shorekeeper is going to be the goated one, but Morni is the better version of Shorekeeper. If you really want to choose between those two characters, I guess I'm going to go for Morni in any day. Okay, let's talk about the version tier 0.5. Oh, sheesh. Damn, finally Frolova is going down for the Tower of Adversity at tier 0 to tier 0.5. Well, I guess Frolova is the very much of a powerful DPS character when she was released. Why am I saying this? If you have her for the signature weapon, which is the main thing for her, other than that, if you just pull her any kind of extra copy, that is not going to be really helpful. Yes, obviously that's going to be helpful because this is a gacha game, every constellation really does matter. But if you just swap her with her main signature weapon, which is the main thing, because her signature weapon is going to be give you a special passive which should be existent on a character kit, not in a signature weapon where you have to invest like a more 80 boost to get it. Well, I know the signature weapon is a guaranteed one, but after Frolova release, the game direction totally changes, that if you don't have that character's particular signature weapon, that you cannot even perform them perfectly, and Frolova is a great example of it. But the one thing is for sure, if you somehow able to get that character's respective signature weapon, it will be a blast, and that character is going to be carried through so many endgame moves that you have ever seen in your life. Okay, that's the Frolova things. Frolova was a tier 0 for the like a phase 1 version, but after that I guess they just remove her from the tier 0 to tier 0.5. But I guess that she's not going to have her great time on this current version, because this current version when Wuthering is, they already introduced a final floor at 2 bosses, which is consist of like a big robot and also the skull boss. So I guess I cannot even pronounce their full names, I just forgot it. Okay, let's see. Okay, this guy Luuk Harsin, he is a tier 0.5 for Tower of Adversity, but he is a tier 1.5 for the Whimpering West. Well, that's a very much interesting to see that he's a break character. I'm not going to see a very much of a difference on him. He's not going to be a future proof. He will be like a more lower after this patch when the anniversary character, because after 1 or 2 months later Wuthering have their second anniversary. That time I guess Luuk Harsin is not going to be this tier 0.5, so he's not going to be a worth it for your account. If you have already a built-in Camellya for your account, I guess Luuk Harsin is not going to be really valuable. And besides than that, the Camellya is still better than Luuk Harsin, because Camellya can also clear the Tower of Adversity and also Whimpering West with a sustainable amount of times. Okay, for the teams which is Yuno is a Tower of Adversity tier 0.5, but she is very lower in the Whimpering West. I guess he should be higher, like a tier 0 or tier 0.5 for the Whimpering West. I don't even know why they even just introduce her or lower her that much. But Agosta, damn man, oof, this is such a bad thing. She is totally lowered down from the tier 0 to tier 0.5. Well, that's not even a very much of a shocking to see that, because each and every character going to be lowered down when a new powerful character is coming up into here. But it is very much interesting to see that our 3 Sentinel, which is a Jinchi, she is not even tier 0 or tier 0.5, but that 2 Sentinel, which is almost a 1 year ago's character, which is a Karthetia, she is also like a tier 0 to this day. Fascinating to see that. Let's talk about the support character for the tier 0.5, the Chisa. I still don't know when they are going to release a character who is specialized in negative status character, and Chisa is going to be the one of the best character that you should be pulling for, and they are going to give you absolute cinema moment that if you don't have her, you are just going to lose your end game mode. But I guess that will be a very much of a far away that we have to wait for it. Okay, the other characters like a Rover Ario, I guess their character the deserving tier 0.5 just because of the Karthetia on tier 0, because if Karthetia is lowered down, this guy is also lowered down at the same time. This guy or main characters of their Ario version is totally live up to this, the version of the Karthetia. Okay, very nice. Same goat, or you can say the one of the best character from the standard character that you have ever get from it, or you have ever lost on a 50-hit on a limited character banner. Okay, let's move on to our tier 1, which is the Carlotta. Hey man, where am I going to start for this character? This character is a shorty, and you know that when it comes to the shorty, she is the same height of the Shao from the Genshin Impact, but the way she is still like remaining her position in tier 1, it is actually really interesting to see that. And she was released almost like a 1.5 hours, almost 2 years ago into this game, and she is still thriving to this day in Tower of Adversity. When it comes to the Whimpering West, well, of course she is not going to be the very much of a specialized in Whimpering West, while Whimpering West is totally focused on the AoE attacks types of character. I guess Carlotta has still a life for this current meta and also upcoming meta. If you have like a signature Carlotta and also good build, I guess she still slaps, because tier 1 is not even a joke. And for the Phoebe, well, tier 1 for the every other list, I have no idea why just tier 1 and tier 1.5 for the every version for hybrid build and other things. Well, she's still here just because of the Zani still can compete with the Whimpering West and also Tower of Adversity. I guess these two characters totally bind by each other because they are the partner for each other. If one character is lowering down, the other character is going to be lowered down as well, as just like the Karthetia with the Ario character and also the Chichiona, because these 3 characters are synergist to each other. If Chichiona does not even give you any kind of value just beside than her Ario resistance reduce, that's it. For the tier 1, for the sub DPS section, or you can say the hybrid section, Brand is not even going up after release of the Amath, but Lupa is does, because Lupa is not even going to give you a damage just because of her sub DPS role, but she is also same as the Lina, where she just giving you a huge amount of damage to the team, but also she is going to be lower down the fusion resistance. And this character is a very much of a niche play. If you have her, you can even use her with the Amath, who is also a fusion character, and also any other fusion character. But if any kind of fusion character is not even the meta, she's not even going to be the meta as well as. So that's the character of the partner role playing each other. And for the character of the tier 1, which is the Ching one, damn man, this character just fall off so much fast that it should be studied much more frequently, because like it did not even long last that of a 1 page where he was considered as a tier 0 character, because this character doesn't even require any kind of signature weapon to perform well. This character just lowered down from tier 0.5 to tier 1 in a one swoop of a phase 1 version to phase 2 version, which is a consist of a 24 like almost 30 days. In between those days, this character just lowered down so much hard that it need to be studied. For the support character for the Rover Spectro, as I already mentioned before, this character is totally a partner for these characters like a main characters. If these 2 characters such as Zani and also Phoebe lower down, Spectre Rover is going to be go down as well, as because they are totally synergist each other, and that's why he's on the tier 1 positions. Well, other character is also positioned as well as on their respective position for this meta. I'm not going to talk about or not going to cover any of those characters. They are just totally holding their position from the previous version as well as. Okay, the one thing is for sure, Jinchi is not even a sustainable character, but she's considered as a sentinel. You already know that these 2 sentinel is still slapping the game hard, but he's not. Well, Jinchi diff, what can I say here? So let's see what kind of comments they are providing for the Luuk Harsin. him into this tier list. I'm going to see the review in here. For this review, they are going to provide you pros and cons. Pros is a good to have, and cons why you should not be pulling for him. Yeah, so let's talk about the first pros. The first pros is a strong damage in mid-air combat style, which makes it fairly easy to avoid a good amount of enemies attack. Okay, that's very much of a good thing. It is going to be a very good thing if he does not even stagnate with the enemies attack, because Camellya is also doing the same thing where she is going to be a mid-air and also do the Beyblade spinning attack all around. But when she's just going to be stagnated with the enemy's punch and also enemies any other kind of attack, she does not even give you any kind of damage value in that time. So if he have a like interruption resistance, this is going to be perfect things. Second point is one of the most accessible DPS in the game by far, able to function very well with a permanently obtainable weapons and teammates. Yes, I already mentioned you before, the obtainable teammates that they are trying to say here, which is going to be the Shenhua and also the Varina. Varina is going to be the selector one. If you are a new player, you can even get her from the standard one. Yes, there are no other standard character who is going to be valuable as much as the Varina is right now. Weapon, which is going to be the Laharohi weapon, and also our pre-RAL Laharohi standard weapon is going to be the very much of a good option. The things if they are trying to mention is one of them. So the third point is the super easy to understand, pick up and optimize. Barriers to entry in the terms of optimization selling in the game. Yes, the other characters such as the Agosta, those characters, and also the Karthetia, those characters required a huge amount of rotation mechanics to learn before playing them perfectly, because if you do not have a good rotation mindset in your mind to play those characters, that you cannot even have the good output damage from them. So for these types of characters such as the Camellya and also the Luuk Harsin, those characters does not even require that kind of a high amount of rotation knowledge to play them. So I guess this is the third points that they are trying to say here. So let's talk about the cons, which is the very bad things that character could have. First one is a focus on mid-air combat means enemies hitting Luuk out of air can be especially bad. Okay, make sure to be careful when engaging dodge so you don't be plummet down. What can I say, man? They already pointed out what am I fearing about, which is the stagnated by the enemy's attacks. If you just attacking him from being a mid-air to an enemy, get stagnated by the enemy's attack, then your attack and combo, all the other things going to be vanished just like a poof. Okay, so for the second point, if Luuk swaps out of his rotation at any point, his kit completely stops functioning and quick swap is a restricted impossibility as a playstyle. Okay, so you cannot even do the quick swap by him. That's a very good bad things. Even bad things for the players who just showcasing their 1 and 2 Q from the keyboard to see that, hey, you can see that how much of a quick swap I am doing. I'm doing so much damage, but at the end of the day, they are not even doing a single things. Okay, that's the second point. Let's talk about the third point, which is the outro buff will almost certainly expire if you don't use dash cancel on his golden impale attacks to shorten his rotation. While it is not strictly necessary with Lina, it is vital to keep in mind that with Shenhua, it is always good learn regardless of team used. If you have Lina, you don't have to do like certain types of mechanics or dodge mechanics, but if you have a Shenhua, you have to do that. Well, that's the thing they are trying to say here. For the last one, which is if you wish to use him in his best team, he is in direct competition with Amath, who is overall has a higher ceiling. His best teammates can easily be stolen away from him for now, so consider that carefully when pulling, although it is worth nothing. He's easily the best Shenhua user in the entire game. Okay, first and foremost thing is that they are comparing with one of the most toppest character in this current version, which is the Amath. Those two characters almost on the par level of their power. But what can I say is that if you have a Camellya who is also the same playstyle as him but better, because Camellya can also be very good for the Wuthering and also Tower of Adversity. So for this season, the thing they are trying to mention here, I'm not going to be disagree with them, but I also be editing that point is that if you have the Camellya, you should not even pull for him, because those two characters, basic attack and scaling, the team they required both is also the same as well as. So that's all for these cons. Let's see what kind of weapon they try to recommend us for using him. For first one is his signature weapon, which is going to be give you a spectro damage, attack damage, basic attack damage, and also a 24% warp around of crit rate, which is going to really give you availability of building him easy with your relic. For the second option, which is the pulsation bracer. Okay, this one is a 3.0 Lahari version of standard weapon, and it is also giving you a 24% crit rate. same as the signature weapon. That's why they are telling us that you should not even pull for his signature weapon, because the existing weapons can also be a good work for him. Well, this is the first time that I am seeing that Wuthering has any signature weapon is very much of a like a 15%. Is that a 15%? Yes, 50% lower than its permanent weapon options. Very good. So I guess he's a very much of a good FTB options. If you don't have the Camellya, pull for him. If you have Camellya, I won't even recommend pull for him unless you like him as a character from the lore wise and other things too. And the third option is going to be the Blazing Justice from the Zani's weapon. If you already have a Zani and also get the both of her signature weapon, or which is a signature gauntlet, I guess you can even just use on him if you really want to get him. But other than that, I don't think so this is going to be a really much of a good options. Okay, so that's all for these things. I think you already grasped about that. What should you even pull for him from this tier list and also from this tier list placement of him. And also if you have any kind of question regarding this tier list position of him, then you should be commenting on the comment section. If you like it, leave a like. See you on the next video. Peace.